We are close to 200 million people now, and the climate change as well. The north, which is the food basket of the nation, especially the middle belt, they are having problems of dislocation due to all the conflicts that are taking place there. Yeah. So the farmers are being affected. And even the people that are herding animals as well, because of the conflict too, they can't also practice their occupation well. So we have to solve the problem of the conflicts that we're having, apart from the desertification as well, which is making the north area not to be arable, not to be suitable for farming again. So all those areas we need to focus on. The government has tried its best. I mean, they are moving. We are having more production in some area, but that has to be in line with the population growth as well.
Okay.
For us to really say we are secure.
Okay. All right. Okay, ma'am. How do you react?
When we say insecurity in food, as all of us know, you have to be self-sufficient in food production, which is via agriculture. What seemingly is happening in Nigeria is a case of one regime coming up, discarding what other regime has in place. The policy implementation is zero, and there's no continuity. So, and they say a hungry man cannot do much. There's poverty, low income, lack of funds, and the lack of attention to rural areas in terms of farming, and gender inequality. Because I can tell you most of the farming done in the rural area is done by women. And they are the ones feeding their family and so on. So if you take it one-on-one, you find out that there is a lot of factors militating against insecurity of food. Conflict is one, whether climatic changes is one. Another one is the neo-colonial ideologies, the World Bank condition they gave to Nigeria. Nigeria in the early independent era, we were subsistent. We are very good in all we have. We have the cocoa industry, we have rubber, we have granite pyramids, we have a lot of things, palm oil and all the rest of them. Nigeria was in fact producing this thing because the colonial masters then need this thing for their industries, and they practically made sure that the policies were working. But what happened? As soon as they left Nigeria on their own, we relapsed. We did not follow up all these things again. And what caused it? The oil boom. We now became only focused on oil. And every other thing started suffering. Subsidies were withdrawn to get aid, which was vis-a-vis a corruptive idea. The SAP came in, the Operation Feed the Nation came in, and all these things were tied with some incentive from the World Bank and IMF, who are giving Nigerian conditions before they could give them the aid. And they were collecting this aid because Nigerians do not love themselves. Some people do not believe in one Nigeria. So based on these facts, a lot of things were really messed up. Even though the government is trying, there is so many committees setting up and so on and so forth, but none is yielding fruit because of lack of infrastructure, degradation, low income earning, salary payments that were not coming regularly to people in Nigeria, and so many other factors. There are so many things.
Okay, I was reading up on this particular issue of food insecurity, and, the government seems to be putting in so much effort.
Exactly.
Troops, the Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, was also talking about one of the reasons being agricultural loans, and the interest on them, which makes a lot of farmers shy away from taking these loans, and also doesn't encourage young people who would ordinarily want to go into agriculture, be able to access a lot of things. Now, what do you think as solution, the government should be doing in terms of agricultural loans and things around that to help boost agriculture?
Okay, before I talk about solution and how we're going to deal with this challenge, I have to say that it is expected. I don't know why people are surprised that we're here.
Really?
Yes, it's expected that we'll get here. That's one thing I know. What I understand about us as Nigerians is that sometimes we chase shadows and we forget that every action has consequences.
Yes.
If you are sitting down somewhere finding crisis in the north, what do you expect? That's where most of your food comes from. You should expect that we will get here. If those guys are out of farm and living in IDP camp for how many years now, Where do you want to get the food? So why are you surprised that we are going to have food problem? If we are against ranching and we don't want to ranch animals to be able to get produce, and then we are playing politics with it instead of finding lasting solution, why are you surprised that you won't get food? If we are spending time doing real estate, and real estate is taken everywhere, go to Asaba. A state like Asaba should be major in agriculture, but you see, it's about housing estate. Because people want quick cash. We don't want to solve our problems. So that's why I'm saying it's expected. I don't know why we are surprised. And give it to this government. You can criticize the government, but the truth is that if not for the initiative they took in 2015, it would have been worse.
Yeah.
Today you go to market, you buy lake rice. You go to market, you buy Anambra rice. You buy, there's one from Kano. You have Abakaliki rice. These were locally produced food here. Imagine if we don't have those ones. Because for a very long time, we've done the agriculture, you know. The thing is that we are not serious about agriculture. And it's as a result of...
overdependence.
Yeah, and then we want to import everything. We want to import tomato. We want to import just everything.
Up to
pepper.
Our food.
So if you go to market, they are telling you this one is Ghana pepper,
tomato.
Cameroon pepper.
Yeah.
This, you know,
Yes.
I remember in those days, you go to your backyard, you pluck some of these
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
What has happened is that why are we depending on only tomatoes from the north? Why is the Yoruba tomato, the southwest tomato? Where is the one in the east? They are different species.
Yeah.
Because we abandoned it. And when you are doing this, you should know that time will come when you have problem of food.
Do I need to mention at this point that even as we're complaining of the lack of food, there is still a lot of wastage going on?
Let me tell you,
There
that
is
is
a lot of storage.
why we're saying that. I don't like when people say, oh, they are sitting down to prepare things for the north, they are giving them advantage. The truth is that if we need to have food sufficient in Nigeria, we need to go up north and find how we deal with those wastages. How do we make sure that those things they produce don't get rotten before they get to the cities?
Markets, yeah.
I think another area is the state governments. Many of our state governments are not self-sufficient. They're all relying on
Abuja.
The federal,
the federal money. And most of our states on our soil all over Nigeria, they're all good for agriculture. I wonder why many states in Nigeria are not going into agric. I mean, agric is not in the exclusive list in the Constitution, so it doesn't stop the states from doing that. If the states can encourage the young ones, the youths, the many people are jobless now. If the state can, and under the law, the states have control of the land. The Land Use Act is basically the governors that are in charge of land, so they can cultivate, get the youth organized, get people organized to go into large-scale farming rather than just subsistence farming. First of all, the food insecurity problem will be addressed. At the same time,
the problem of unemployment.
Unemployment will be solved.
Yeah.
And of course, they also have their own income. The state won't have to depend on oil money. So the states have a lot to do.
Internally generated revenue. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you were saying something.
Yeah, what I was saying is the problem of storage. The waste you were talking about, we have poor system of storage and infrastructure. It's lacking. Transportation, inaccessibility to road and things like that. That was why when the Benue State governor, even though it looks laughable, was giving out wheelbarrow, I commended him to an extent because these people need those wheelbarrow to carry their produce out to the nearest motorways and things like that. But it's all lacking in Nigeria today. They don't have storage system, no facility, infrastructure. The loans we are talking about comes with so much cumbersome interest, and it's even gender inequality because the men seem to be the one winning these loans than the women who are really the rural women cultivating this in these farms. And also we have what I could say politicization of agriculture. We politicize it because you come in, this regime has started Operation Feed the Nation, you come in, you start Green Revolution, you come in, you start this, you start that. You see them backbiting each other. But what I can commend the last administration that was in place before Buhari was that there are so many things that good Lord Jonathan set up that this administration is really benefiting from. Then when you saw of wastages, can you imagine a whole minister for agriculture. They sent yam to America. And this yam, before it could get there, were found to be spoiled. Is that not a shame? So we don't even have pesticides to take control of the storage we have. Like in the Bible, we hear when there was famine, food produce were saved. And for the number of years famines was taking place, they brought out what they have in store. Do we have a system whereby we have wheat, we have maize, we have sorghum,
stored up
cocoa? We don't have this system of storage whereby if Nigeria could say, oh, we lack food, or just like the NNPC, we say, oh, we have so much petroleum, even if the ones on the high sea is delayed by coming, we can bring out
something to.
We don't have anything to lean back on.
But you know, I wonder what happened with when I was in school. I used to hear so much about silos. You know, a government building large silos where grains and stuff like that were stored. What happened to all that?
Today they will leave them. Pests will eat them up. You know, a lot of things. Someone will just politicize it, that it will remain there. They will just be given to who they know, just like the fertilizer issue. And again, lack of education is also an impediment in agriculture, because most of these rural dwellers need to be, you know, tutored on the current and new ways of doing agriculture. Gone are the days where people say, oh, this is the period of corn, this is period of wheat. Because I watched a program in London whereby this company, within a week, they produce lettuce and cabbage. And they later supply to hotels. And they taught the hotels on how to just make the bed, you know, create lights. This thing, within a week, they are harvesting their lettuce. Real lettuce. We are not in any way mechanized. We are not in any way having the new trends. We don't have cooperation with countries like Malaysia who are living on some of the crops that Nigeria actually have. There are countries that do not have more than what we have. And again, the food production. We have lesser food production in all the various areas. Rice, maize, wheat, cocoa, everything. The demand is high compared to what we produce.
Even the value chain.
You know, the demand, and they don't have this constituency of carrying all the stakeholders along. You see that some private sector, we want to invest in farming, they will now call the rural people, who are basically the people who brings out most of the crops. They don't put them along. There is inconsistent of harnessing all the various stakeholders together.
Like you rightly said, there's a lot of corruption in the system, which is also an impediment. I've shared this story on, I think on this program sometime back, you know, how a certain agricultural group approached me. They're basically into farming groundnuts. I don't have interest in that, even if I were to go into farming, not groundnuts for Christ's sake, you know. But you know, I was given a free form and blah 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 and all of that. The whole essence of it is so that we can share the money when it comes in. And I'm like, no, I can't do that, because the real farmers who farm the groundnuts will not have access to these grants when it does come in. So there's a lot of corruption.
A lot of them
in the system.
Get rich quick syndrome.
Yeah, chokes.
If the way I want to look at it is, until we convince young people to go into agriculture,
how will they go when you don't make the rural area to look very creative?
Let's get it straight. When you go to some of these advanced countries, most of the rich families, you know, are families are into agriculture.
Yes.
We need to get the young people to see agriculture in a different way.
As a business.
Because see, if you work, some of these young people that work, how much do they earn per month?
Very small.
No matter how you pay, most of them are less than 50,000 per month. Some less than 100. If you explain to them that agriculture can pay them 200 per month, it's very possible. Because we need to invest heavily in agriculture, mechanized agriculture, mechanized farming. A lot of these young people would, because they still see it old way, because we are using all those old farming implements.
The hoes and the cutlass. That's the image we see.
I must tell you, I give credit to back of industry for what they have done. Also, they've done a lot in terms of giving grants and loans for people to do farming. I think they have the one for youth, strictly for youth. I think it was 10 million or so. And then you have the one for women and all kinds of grants for agri. But you know, somebody spoke here and we're talking about states. What are the states doing? I give credit to the governor of my state, Anambra State. I'm not
Exactly.
Is actually, sometimes I disagree with him in some policies, but in terms of agriculture, that's one area that he got it right.
Right.
I tell you, because Charis is known for doing automobile.
Yeah.
If you go to Anambra Farm, the riverine area of Anambra State, where you have these farm settlements, you have Kocharis Farm. Kocharis has a massive farm in Anambra State. In fact, they farm even cucumber.
Wow.
Yes, it's not about rice, tomato, all kinds of things, because this is a government that sat down and said, look, we need to do something about feeding ourselves.
Sure.
Everybody should find it. And the problem is that we sit down every day, we shout about Abuja.
Yeah, that is
It's
what
not Abuja. Agriculture is not Abuja. Abuja does not have land to farm.
No.
The states should do farming.
Yes.
Give kudos to a Lagos State governor.
Yes.
Ambode, he came up with the idea of lake rice. He
With the
didn't
other
have
state-
land
the
to
other
farm
states in the
it.
north.
He had to go into partnership
Yeah.
with KB State to produce lake rice.
Okay.
What are the other states doing?
All right, and also I dare say Lagos State too. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Lagos
Ambode,
State,
he did it well.
All right, let's look at what the viewers are saying. Ojasonya Razak Adekunle, a graduate of animal science from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. My complaint is this. I have a fish farm located at Owode Idiroko Express Road. It's an area that has a lot of fish farmers. Recently, the Ogun State government has been trying to impose on us tax payment. Kindly, is it advisable for the state government to impose such an act on us, despite the fact that the state government, hasn't done anything for us in that particular area? Thank you. I think that's around Ilashe area. All right, this one says the issues will become more and more in Nigeria. Look at what's happening today. All the farmers are cheated out and feed cattle in the farm. For God's sakes, where are we going? Benjamin from Taraba State sent that one in. All right, Chima from Equatorial Guinea says Nigeria is overpopulated. Food produced in Nigeria is not sufficient.
Yes.
They should leave imported rice. All right, this one says where there is insecurity in the nation, surely there would be food insecurity. Julius Peter from Lagos. All right. Okay, this one coming from Adamawa, your complaint is noted. I will get it across to engineering. Okay, you know, this is a big issue because the fact that you can go to the market and you see food displayed that you can afford to buy, how about 5-10 years down the line? That's what we're talking about. So something needs to be done and done quickly now,
And
really.
there's even an angle to that.
Quickly,
so I'm going
Chips.
to just use 1 minute. You know, those days when the Northerners used to bring this farm produce themselves, the prices were okay. Now you find that people travel from the south to go bring it by themselves, and by the time it comes, the prices are
Middlemen.
Added.
So these are some of the things that
The
happen.
middlemen. The problem.
Yeah, I mean, we're still talking about farming with the digging with the hoe and everywhere. In advanced countries, they don't even farm on land anymore. So not having
That is
land,
what I'm telling
it's
you.
not even an
It's
excuse
not
not to
land.
farm. People farm in the air now.
What are you telling me?
Hydroponics. I think we've discussed that.
Yeah,
on the show.
robotics.
Is it
Aeroponics, they farm on water. Yeah,
What I
aeroponics.
told you I saw, there was a box that was created,
Yeah.
and in that box, just little water was put there.
With
and
some
it was-
nutrients, and that's
they
it.
just carried the seedlings, like something like this,
Hanging.
and put inside the thing,
You know,
and
you
cover
know
it.
what we are talking about is happening in Nigeria as we are talking. Yes, there's a guy called Samson Obole. I interviewed him like last year.
Okay.
And they have these things coming up. But we'll get there. I think we'll get there.
We'll
The
get
young
there.
people,
How
until
long
young people
are we-
begin to get
I'm
into
happy
this.
that the federal
the-
government, the Senate are worried and
No,
talking about
the
it.
federal
So,
government should be giving kudos because they are not really sitting on their oars because the minister is a farmer who knows what it takes. But the problem is how do they make the rural areas to look lucrative for the youths to go back? Urbanization, all of them are coming to the city and creating
because there's
you
nothing
know,
to do.
They are not
over there.
making it lucrative for them. They are not
Yeah.
creating this loan facility to them to farm.
Okay.
Like the guy that is saying about being taxed. How can I set up something you don't